Time and pressure. The effects it has on Magic the Gathering. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here. If you're new to my channel and you've just found me in the nacho cheese universe of YouTube, thanks a lot for checking out my content today. I really hope you enjoy it. Smash that subscribe button. It is free to do to join the channel. Just hit the subscribe button. We are ready to go, getting closer to our 7,500 subscribers for the pizza party and moving on to our 10,000 subscribers for the big party. Can't wait to see everyone there. And remember, turn on the notification bell. I have new content daily, 7 days a week with new content, top 10 videos on the weekend, reserve list content during the week, as well as many other topics in Magic the Gathering. And I can't wait to see you guys there in the comment sections having that conversation with me. We are going to have a blast. So let's get on to this, all right? I got the pen in hand. Let's move on. Wait, this is the green pen, though. We need the red pen. Where is the red pen? All right, so before we get this ball rolling, let me remind everyone, I'm not a financial advisor. This is purely for entertainment purposes only, and if you need a real financial advisor, you should go find one, not the guy who's hoarding cardboard in the background of his things with a red pen. It's not the way to go. So, time and pressure. It affects a lot of things that we deal with in our daily lives, but when it comes to collectibles, depending on what the collectible is and where it's found, that time and pressure is tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold. I grew up in the 80s, and I remember playing with He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, GoBots, Thundercats, Silverhawks, Micronauts, remember that one? Or hey, even Brave Star was on TV, man. I remember all these toys very fondly. And as I grew up, and as my toys got destroyed or given away, used by younger siblings, given to Goodwill, whatever happened to them happened. Parents threw them away in most cases. Well, the odd time, people like to collect them. And they go back after those toys. And if they can't afford that $1,000 He-Man figure still in package, then they go after a reissue. They just say, hey, they've reissued it. I'm just going to buy a reissue for $10. Now, the pressure on those old toys is what causes them to be so expensive. A rare coin, a rare stamp, because there's just not a lot out there. That's how the world of collectibles goes. Now, when it comes to collectibles, though, they do go in cycles. Popularities come and go. They wane with certain generations of people who collect them. Some become worthless. Some have no value until somebody remembers them. And then it comes back to a value. So, when we're talking today about Magic the Gathering, when you think of all the cards that Wizards of the Coast has put out and the time and pressure it has on those cards, new products and old. Oh, you know what I should add in before we get started? I should add in sealed products. I should add in sealed. We got room for that too. So when it comes to collectibles though, when you're thinking of Magic the Gathering, everyone's mind always goes to the reserve list. And in some ways, depending on how you play the game, it should. You don't have to be an old school player, a kitchen table Magic player, a vintage or legacy player to appreciate the reserve list. You don't. Okay? Hands down, I love it, but not everyone feels the same way. But I have noticed that a driving force of players is coming from Commander. And a lot of Commander decks do require some reserve list cards. Even some minor ones that aren't that expensive. Time and pressure. When you think of the formats of people playing Magic, when you think of all the different formats out there, and which ones allow certain cards, in most cases, every card will get reprinted at some point. But the reserve list. Okay, remember that. But the reserve list. When you think of a Commander deck you want to build, you should be looking to see which reserve list cards it needs. Which ones you want to get into. How much you can afford in your budget. Because capitalism is alive and well when it comes to Magic the Gathering and the reserve list. There's only a finite amount of these cards out there. So whereas certain cards like the Allied Fetch Lands, we're waiting for them to be reprinted, we know they will be reprinted. Polluted Delta, Flooded Strand, those cards are going to come back into a set somewhere. And Wizards will capitalize on that and make a lot of money doing it, and they'll be timing it perfectly. But they can't do that to the reserve list. They can't just reissue me a Black Lotus. They just can't. Because of how they've structured things, and they're not going to, by the way. I still believe that. So when you look at this, I chose a horrible set today. I chose Fallen Empires. Fallen Empires! a set that people shunned for well over a decade after its release. When you look up here, Fallen Empires in 1997 was $75 a box. Talked to a few people, talked to a few friends, looked it up. $75 Canadian for a whole sealed box in 1997. Wow. That's how hated that set was? That's right. 8 card booster packs, 60 packs in a box. Wizards, by the way, you should rehash that. Go back and give us some of those nostalgic ways of packaging as well, and you might see some upsales just on that. Because Magic players, like old toy collectors and stamp collectors, and we get nostalgic. Some people, it isn't about nostalgic, it's about the value. It's about building an asset class. Building equity in things other than real estate, other than gold or stocks or bonds. Everyone's got their own thing. For collectors, sometimes it's just finishing the set of something. Interesting. But back then, $75. And then, from 2000 to 2009, you're looking around $150 Canadian per box. I know that because in 2009, I had bought 2 boxes for $150 each on eBay. They came delivered, and that's how much I paid. Pretty good price, right? Because you're comparing it to nowadays. Because the pressure on that product got worse. Where people didn't care about it, and people hated that product, time and pressure has amazing things. So, 2011 is around $200 a box. So it's starting to uptick. And it's got worse every year until we get to 2022, where you can find boxes for around $1,000 Canadian to $1,200. It actually was higher in 2021, where boxes were up to $1,500 in some cases, but things have come down. The market has calmed. The pressure has come off the product. But how did the pressure get there? As with everything, it gets used up. Around this time, 2009 and 2011, I remember seeing these in card shops. You could buy Fallen Empires packs for $5 each. $5 a pack. Pretty reasonable. Because people were buying them at the stores. The wholesale price, they were probably buying somebody, oh, you have a Fallen Empires box? I'll give you $90. They're selling it for $5. They're more than doubling their money. That's how they looked at it. But every time a pack got opened, there was one less for people to buy. There was one less sealed product available. And it's going to get worse because now that we've opened these packs and people have opened them up and enjoyed them and had little round table discussions about some old cards they used to hate, which now they think are kind of funny and kind of fun, there's less sealed product available. Every time sealed product goes down, the price for the sealed box of something goes up. And that's even to today's cards. So it doesn't have to be a reserve list. If you see a limited print set like Rise of the Eldrazi, 2009, 2010, $99 a box back then, and now they're like $1,000 because it was a low print run. People opened it a lot, and there's just so many less available now for anyone who wants to have that nostalgic grab to open one of those boxes. And it'll get worse as the years go by. Those boxes will rise higher and higher because there are going to be people who are willing to pay that price to get their hands on a sealed box. Be it reserve list, be it any of the ones we're talking about today, a commander deck, a challenger deck, keeping it sealed will have an increased value as long as not too many people do it. The more and more people that do it, the less valuable it's going to be because everyone's got one in their back closet, right? So, when you think of that though, these prices rise. The individual cards weren't worth a lot at the time, but even those horrible Fallen Empires cards have continued to rise as people recognize certain combinations that can be used in different deck formats, right? They may have said, hey man, I want to get together with some buddies. We're going to build a Thrall deck versus a Thalid deck. So they go and get the couple of reserveless cards they need, and they build some fun deck. And they have a nice Friday night playing at somebody's house. And it didn't cost a lot back then. Because in 2021, Thralls were around, a Thrall champion was $1. In 2020, 50 cents. Think about that. I bought about 30 copies. I remember an old video I did where I was telling people anyone can afford the reserve list, and you still can, by the way, depending on what card you're after. Some of the cards are still really cheap. 50 cents in 2020. Now, as of today, $7 US puts it around $10 Canadian, an all-time high. It doesn't have to be a really playable card. It has to be a card that people want to get their hands on. Just like old baseball cards, only certain baseball cards are worth a lot of money, but a lot of the old cards are worth something. Something. Doesn't have to be a top-notch card. So a lot of these reserve list cards for people trying to collect one of every reserve list card. For those trying to complete a complete set of alliances, homelands, fallen empires, the dark, mirage. Every time somebody completes a set, that 150, 200, 250 cards is not coming back onto the market. Every time somebody builds a new commander deck and wants to keep those cards in that deck, that's less on the market, putting pressure on the set, putting pressure on the reserve list, putting pressure on whatever card it is, causing it to rise. It's not fair, but it's the way it is. That's how capitalism works. Every time it happens, price goes up. Product goes down, price goes up. And when there's an ease in the market, when things get sold off, because people need money for different reasons, and there's an abundance in the market, the price eases off a bit, but only so far. Remember, there are giant whales, there are sharks out there just waiting there. Not baby shark, I'm talking big sharks, big whales, waiting to buy those cards when they hit certain levels on a dip because they recognize where a card used to be. On this channel, I always say, hold the line. I say hold it because unless you have to sell it, you're potentially missing out on profits later on down the road. I myself stopped selling a long time ago for reserve list cards because I've seen how much they can go up by over the time of me playing. From all the way back in the early 90s to now, dual lands going from $1 to $1,000, that's a big jump. You have to recognize that that's how some people are going to think. So there are those who want to invest and collect. There's those people who just want to play with the cards. There's a lot of different reasons why people buy reserve list cards and buy collectibles in general. But if you're buying an original OG of something, and every time one disappears into somebody's collection, as new players join the game, it just keeps putting pressure. It causes the prices to rise. If there's cards you're after, get them while you can. Because every time I do a market watch video showing a dip in some reserve list card, I warn people that that card is dipping because there might be somebody trying to get it. The odd time when you see a box going a little bit low, I tell people maybe somebody saved up just enough to get that reserve list box and they've been dying to get one and they didn't realize the price was dropping because sometimes things ease up temporarily. And by temporarily, I mean within 5 years. Things don't happen all at once, right? These cards can go to zero. They can go to zero and be worth nothing. But at the same hand, they can continue to rise and go up the more people want to collect them and the less there are available on the market. And heaven forbid Wizard prints a new card that breaks an old, normally worthless or low-end reserve list card and it causes it to shoot up because there are people who are eat-mores. Like the chocolate bar. Whoa, chocolate bar. They keep eating more of them. They don't just settle with a play set of 4. They want 20, 50, 100, 1,000 copies. They want to keep eating it. Because if they see in their head, they go, you know what? If some new card that comes and does this, this card's now broken. And now these cards are going to go from $10 to $1,000. From 50 cents to $10. And then they make a killing. That's how it works. That's how it's been for a long time. But since the most expensive cards are now tens of thousands of dollars in some cases, people aim for the lower end reserve list cards, still hoping to have some effect, make some money at some point. Some people just want to have the cards to hold on to. There's lots of reasons why people collect. But every time they do, time and pressure comes into effect over and over again. And now that I've seen it long term and I can see the effects as I do this channel longer and longer and report back to you guys, yeah, we're in for a wild ride in the next 5 years. And I hope I'm here to be here with you guys doing the whole thing because this is some crazy stuff going on. Very interesting. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Time and pressure on all things. And of course, whenever cheap prices come up, I will let you guys know. Thanks a lot for tuning in today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video with the red pen. And I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow. Have a great day today. That's right. We're back in action. Patrons make the world go round. Thank you so much for all the patrons' continued support on the channel. Looking forward to the live streams with you guys each and every Sunday. Remember, have some nachos and cheese. Bring a large pizza with lots of meat on it. And let's relax and chill. Why not? Let's do an arena game, get you guys partied up. Let's see how things work out. Here we go. Now, I guess I should show you guys what we're dealing with here. So we're taking a look at my arena deck here. This is my blue-white epiphany type, time-walking, annoying deck, which seems to be taking forever to load up. There we go. So we have 4 Revitalize, 4 Test the Talents, 2 Behold the Multiverse, Devious Cover-Up, amazing card, underrated. 4 Cosmos Elixir, 4 by invitation only, 4 Doomscar, Amara's Call, but mainly used just to summon the angels, so you can keep recycling it with the Devious Cover-Up. Then you got Elrond's Epiphany for those things. Hullbreaker Horror. And we got some various lands. Of course, the Giants. Got to have the Giants. And the rest is just a variation of some different lands you might want to have in your deck. That's up to you. Let's get this party rolling. I'm telling you, we have some good effects in this game. We're going to have a good time. All right. We're going to go to standard ranked, I guess, right? We're ranked? Huh? There? There? Yeah, ranked, right? Yeah. All right, let's bring on the pain and see how we do. Got to have a little fun, as it were, right? We got to make sure that we are testing the limits of what is possible. Because I'd like to make it back to Mythic this season as well. You know, it'd be a good time. Good time. All right, let's get this one down here. And let's see if we can get the ball rolling, as it were. All right. We got that versus deck ready to go. I'm playing against some guy called Histoica. This is fine. So, obviously, he's going to be a late turn. There's my counter spell. Depending, I might play that or save for a counter, depending on what they've got going. I can have some trouble with some red decks with this. Flip decks, I seem to be okay, but you have to wait them out. You can't be the first one to cast, and you've really got to draw the game out to make them pay for it. You got to have the test the talents like 2 or 3 in your hand. You got to draw that stuff out. Right? It's very interesting to see how other people play. But again, you can just get messed up just with what you draw. So, let's pay the ones that hurt the most, which are the lands that come into play tapped, but it's nice to have multiple types of mana. Remember that. So don't be afraid to put these in your deck. They're still working, especially if you get them early on. And later, who cares? You're usually time walking by that point, or you're using other things to stay alive. I have the Revitalize and I have the Cosmos Elixirs to give me that life to help me live and last in the games. That's why I use it. Look, we got a Blessed Spirit. Let's see. The Blessed Spirit says whenever put a +1/+1 counter on voice. Yeah. That's fine. I've seen that card before a few times. Because, you know, whenever you gain life, he gets a little bit better. He's okay. Don't get me wrong. He's a Spirit Cleric. He's feeling it. Now, see here, he'll probably do whenever he gains life, put a +1/+1 counter. See the plussing he's got here? See the type of deck he's building? Very interesting. But he hasn't done it yet, which I'm surprised he didn't pump up his thing. Rather than kind of life gain, he must be holding things. So we'll just gain some life. Now you can see there that I can already use this, but I like to drag out. I don't like doing it right away. I want him to have to cast things. I want him to have creatures on the battlefield. I want him to feel the burn. And he won't know it yet. He doesn't know what I can do. He hasn't seen any counter spells. So this deck usually throws people off because all it does is eliminate creatures to the point where I'm the only one that can have creatures. It's very, you know, it can be a long, drawn-out game, but it can be a lot of fun. Let's go. What do you got? I should probably say hello. I didn't say hello yet. I usually try to be polite. Give a good old hello. There he goes. He's leveling it up. So now next turn, he is going to do things, as you can tell. He is going to do things that mess me up. All right? But I'm not going to cast anything. I want to see what he does. I want him to cast out more creatures. I want him to bring more things to the battlefield. And since nothing he really has is threatening me yet, I want to see what life gain he's got going, because that's interesting. Oh, you got a Valkyrie Angel. I love that you bring in a Valkyrie Angel. I like that you're bringing that to the ballpark. If you would gain life, you gain that much life instead. Look, it's the exact same card. Do you get that feeling maybe he's playing a certain type of deck? My deck usually does not have trouble dealing with these types of decks. So it'll be very interesting. Now, he can level it up, though, to that max level to bring things back. That can mess me up, but not at the moment, right? I'll have to save up some cards and get some stuff going. Now, I have Test the Talents, so now I've got something that can mess up any of his things that may be giving him life, like a Revitalize. I'll save it for something to hold on and just, you know, mow down on him and say, oh, you want to cast that? You're not allowed. He still doesn't have anything, or he's waiting for me to do some huge, amazing card effect, which I'm not going to do. You see, I'm not casting out the Epiphany yet. I'm not in a rush to do anything. Overplaying your hand and playing too many creatures is the biggest fault a lot of players make. And I'm fine playing a nice slow game, making sure I get my stuff played out. I'm keeping my life total high enough. He's not hurting me too badly. And he's wondering if I've got counter spells. You can see it. That's why he hasn't played anything yet. But after I get enough life, or enough turns built up, I take my turns, cast out a Hull Breaker, start on summoning all of his stuff, overplay his hand, and the game is over. He'll probably just give up. But you have to get to that point still. So you have to stay alive, dodge the stuff going on. There you go, a voice of the blessed. But I don't care if you bring a creature out. Yes, give your guy pluses. Pluses on top of pluses. Now he's going to get that bonus though, see? Now I can't let that one hit the board because it would give him the bonuses and he would do massive damage to me. And I can't afford to have that happen yet. So he's forced my hand a bit. I'll have to kill all of his creatures this turn though. So I'll go ahead and use my invitation only to wipe his board clean. I'd like to draw 1 or 2 more cards out, but it's fine. He's going to go ahead and smash me for a bit. Yeah. Ow. Ow. It hurt. I felt the burn. Oh, but that's okay. We're going to make you sacrifice some guys. Just 6 creatures. Now, I'm not going to put the Doomscar into its short Foretold phase because I'm keeping stuff for Test the Talent just in case. He probably will pump up to level 5 to bring a creature back. I know I probably would, so I'm not sacrificing cards in hand. Come on. Really? I'll be honest, I wouldn't have done that, but hey, to each their own. Now I'm going to short play it because he has nothing obviously that's instant related right now, so I might as well get my stuff going, get my life up, and then I can go ahead and start gaining more life, drawing more cards, and getting ahead of him. I've still got 2 more creature kill spells. Right, I got the Doomscar, I got the Invitation Only. And the reason he's playing this stuff now is because as he plays it out, he can bring it back when he levels this up. And I'm well aware of that, I'm just waiting. So 1, 2, 3, 4. No, not yet. So we'll just we'll Doomscar this. So now that he's down to 1 card, he is going to have to sooner or later now start using the powers on those. And you can see I got my second Epiphany. I got another land so I can build my mana base higher. So I'm getting ready to go out and cast my cards. Good card he's got there. So now we'll do it this way. We're going to play that. Now I got... I really don't want to play it yet. I don't have enough to powerhouse him through, do I? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, not yet. So how am I doing this then? I know what I'll do. I'll do it at the end of his turn. I'll keep my 7 mana available so I can play the Horror at the end of his turn. Take the 2 Time Walking turns and he'll probably just give up. And then you see the Revitalize and stuff. I can recast those. So it should be good. I should be able to unsummon a lot of his stuff as I get going. We'll see what he does. Is he going to pump out? That's a mistake. It's fine though. So I know the game is over. He doesn't know it yet, but I can see the game's over. He's going to smack me. Go ahead, smack me. He has no cards in hand. He hasn't drawn anything. He's not going to get another turn at this point. I have more than enough to kill him. Come on. Give your guys the +1/+1 counter. And he's really slow to play. I'm sorry, guys. It's just taking a little bit longer. What can I say? These things happen. You can do them all. Cool, you got angels. Look at those beautiful angels he's got. What do you guys think? Can I unsummon those angels? I don't think he recognizes yet what's happening, but he should. He thinks the 30 life will be enough to get him through. But he should know by now that I've set up more than that. But he may not. And don't forget, I also have the Hall of the Storm Giant sitting here. Yeah, see, he thinks he can live. And I get it. He's not sure. I guess we'll put it that one. Another time walking turn. Unsummon the next angel. Put his stuff out. It's going to take a beating here. And I'm just going to activate my giant and the game's over. But he doesn't know it, so. Draw my turn. Activate the Hall of the Storm Giant. And away we go. I know, I'm sorry. But now you guys get an idea of how this deck works. Really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks a lot, man. MTG Mox, man, just showing off a bit of my deck play. Hope you guys like the deck. We'll talk to you guys soon.